distribution of sensitive materials from the Central Bank of Nigeria has begun in Ekiti State ahead of the governorship election and a series of senatorial federal constituency by-elections scheduled for Saturday, 20th June 2026. Hi. Welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, gunfire erupted early on Thursday at the airport in Niger's capital, Niamey, residents told AFP, several months after a major jihadist attack at the facility. In January, the capital's Diari Hamani International Airport was targeted in an unprecedented attack claimed by the Islamic State in the Sahel and repelled by Nigerian armed forces and allied Russian fighters. Niger, a vast country in West Africa's Sahel region, has for a decade battled violence by armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. At number 9, Ghana scored a dramatic 1-0 victory over Panama in their opening World Cup Group L clash in Toronto on Wednesday. Caleb Urenke bundled in the winning goal in the 5th minute of stoppage time, sending thousands of Ghanaians in Canada's largest city into a frenzy and settling an otherwise irrational battle. Both sides largely struggled to generate chances in the first half after Panama striker Cecilia Waterman's second-minute attempt was steered away by outstretched Ghana goalkeeper Lawrence Ati-Ziggy. The Black Stars didn't attempt a shot on goal through the first half. The second half played out under steady rain at the Toronto Stadium but saw more sustained attacking play. At number 8, the Nigerian Medical Association Lagos State branch has expressed concern over the ongoing 3-day warning strike by resident doctors at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. The NMA warned that the industrial action could escalate into a wider healthcare disruption if urgent steps are not taken. The strike, embarked upon by the Association of Resident Doctors, LASSOT, followed what the doctors described as the failure of the Lagos State government and relevant authorities to address long-standing welfare issues affecting medical personnel in the hospital. At number 7, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the candidacy of Governor Abiodun Oyebanji of Ekiti State in the forthcoming governorship election as it dismissed the appeal of a member of the All Progressives Congress, Mrs. Abimbola Olawumi, who challenged the outcome of the party's primary. In a unanimous judgment on Thursday, a 3-member panel of the appellate court, led by Justice Adebukola Banjoko, held that the appeal filed by Mrs. Olawumi was incompetent. The Court of Appeal found that the appellant's brief of argument was filed in a contravention of the court's rules, having exceeded the numbers allowed, and proceeded to hold that the appeal was unsupported by any argument and therefore incompetent. At number 6, a 23-year-old nursing student of the College of Nursing Sciences, ALO, in Idemili, South Local Government Area of Anambra State, has been found dead in her apartment in Urozieni, ALO. The deceased, identified as Chiamaka Chilaka, an ND2 student of the institution and native of Isingu in Ngo Okpala Local Government Area of Imo State, was discovered lifeless on Sunday after a church service. A viral video circulating on social media showed a cleric wailing uncontrollably as he lamented the death of the student, repeatedly shouting, my daughter," in distress. In the video, account alleged that the deceased had been subjected to repeated unwanted advances by her landlord, which reportedly rejected. At number 5, the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Frederick Agbedi, has faulted President Bola Tinubu's failure to visit Oyo State in their wake of the abduction of school children and teachers in the state. Several interest groups like the Nigeria Union of Teachers, civil society organizations, and social media influencer Martins Vincent Osel, better known as VDM, took to the streets in protest against the abduction. They asked the authorities to rescue the students and teachers. At number 4, state governors have restated their commitment to the establishment of state police and reforms in the electricity sector. The agreement was reached in the communique issued at the end of the second meeting of the Nigerian State Governors Forum held on Wednesday. During the meeting, the governors deliberated affecting the country, noting a dedicated consultation with the Attorney General to review the proposed constitutional amendment and framework for their decision. At number 3, the federal government has announced that all tax incentives, waivers, and exemptions granted under previous tax laws will remain valid until they expire, despite the introduction of Nigeria's new tax regime. The clarification is contained in the general guidelines released on Thursday in Abuja to support the implementation of the Tax Act 2025, which came into effect on January 1st, 2026. According to the Ministry of Finance, while existing incentives will continue to to run your course. Any fresh applications or requests that they are still awaiting approval will now be processed in line with the provisions of the new tax laws. At number 2, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has directed an urgent escalation of waste evacuation operations following the recent build-up of refuge in parts of the state. The directive mobilizes key environmental agencies, including the Lagos Waste Management Authority (LOMA), the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, and the Ministry of Environment to intensify sanitation efforts across affected communities. According to the governor, additional waste collection trucks and personnel have been deployed, with sanitation workers operating round the clock to restore cleanliness and normalize conditions. At number 1, distribution of sensitive materials from the Central Bank of Nigeria has begun in Ekiti State ahead of the governorship election and a series of senatorial and federal constituency by-elections scheduled for Saturday, 20th June 2026. This is as the Independent National Electoral Commission said the number of registered voters in the state increased from 987,647 in 2023 to 1,059,360 in 2026. The data were announced as INEC said it had successfully concluded the collection of permanent PVCs ahead of the governorship election scheduled for Saturday, 20th June 2026. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.